Ever wonder which Philadelphia neighborhoods offer you the best bang for your buck as far as the rental market? You may be aware that Philadelphia is still one of the cities in the country that is deemed affordable. It has a median home sale price below the national average. However excited you are about the prospects of investing in Philadelphia, you're a little bit nervous about sinking money into the wrong neighborhood. A place where maybe you'll be struggling year after year to find high quality tenants. Do you really know where to invest where people want to live? So in today's video, I'm going to share my top 6 neighborhoods that can check the box in both areas, being attractive to tenants and being good for cash flow as an investor. And some of these neighborhoods actually have median rents near the top range of the city. So let's get started. I'm Veronica Woods, and if you're new to the Real Estate Wisdom channel, this is the place where you can find market updates about Philadelphia and suburban Delaware County, as well as tips about how to build and maintain a profitable rental property portfolio. If you want to grab one of my free downloads that offers more information, whether you're buying, selling, or managing a property in the Philadelphia area, you want to click on one of the links in the description area below this video. And if you want to reach out personally, all my contact information is down below as well. To begin, let's look at the trends in the overall Philadelphia rent rates over the last 12 months. So what you'll notice on this chart is, one, that Philadelphia and Pennsylvania, the rent growth has outpaced the national average, which is a checkbox for Philadelphia. And then 2, the trend that we as property managers have seen all across the country in the last 6 months, rents have trended down, and they're largely for overall economic factors. So that's just kind of a thing. The second chart on the screen is just looking at where the rent bands break down across the rental units. And I got this data from apartments.com, or this chart comes from apartments.com. So you'll see that majority of the renters are paying between $1,000 and $2,000 a month. So that's really your sweet spot. Anytime you're over that, so if you have a rental unit that's over $2,000 a month, it'll just be a smaller sample of folks who want to rent at that rate, because obviously they can also buy. So that's always a question in your mind when you're going after the higher rents. But anyway, so key takeaway is 68% of the rents are between $1,000 and $2,000 a month. Before I jump in the top 6 neighborhoods, let's talk a little bit about the neighborhoods of Philadelphia overall. So Philadelphia is known to be a city of neighborhoods. So here's Philadelphia here on the map, and people talk in terms of North, South, and West Philadelphia, but then you get into, there's nearly 150 neighborhoods at last count, and there's new neighborhoods that are always being named every year, it seems, for us natives, and they all have a different vibe. Now, to come up with my list of the top 6 attractive neighborhoods, I took a list of the top 26 neighborhoods for tenants, so they judged it by attractiveness to live there, from a survey or analysis from editors from apartmentslist.com. So they came up with a list of these 26 neighborhoods that you see on the screen. So the ones in more red are the ones that emerged as the top neighborhoods for renters, or for renters and investors. So that, remember how I said we're checking both boxes. So they all tended to be kind of west and south of the city. And we'll jump into how I got that ranking. So I took the top, these 26 neighborhoods, and then I calculated the price to rent ratio of each one. And what happened was these neighborhoods emerged from the list. So we're going to jump in to talk about which ones made it in what order. The price to rent ratio is a rough measurement of relative attractiveness from a cash flow perspective. So you take the median sales price divided by the monthly rent, and that gives you a price rent ratio. A ratio of 15 or lower is considered more attractive from a cash flow perspective. So now when we jump into my top 6 list, we're going to go from the highest cash flow, highest price to rent ratio will be close to the 15, down to the one with the lowest out of the group, and that will be the number one neighborhood that, again, is both attractive to tenants as well as to rental property investors looking for cash flow. Now we're going to jump into that top 6 list of neighborhoods that are good for both tenants and investors. And for the sake of comparison, make comparisons easy, we're going to be talking about the rent and sales prices of 3-bedroom homes for each neighborhood. So let's start at neighborhood number 6 on the list. And we're going to be sharing photos of representative homes that exist in those areas for those less familiar with the architecture. So number 6 is Point Breeze, and Point Breeze is in South Philadelphia. You see the 14.8 price to rent ratio, and that's based on a median rent rate for a 3-bedroom home of $2,100, and then a median sales price of $373,000. So Point Breeze is a neighborhood that's well known for a lot of development activity of late, a lot of transformations of vacant lots into not only new construction of single family, but multifamily developments and townhouses. So there is some press about some friction between kind of old community members and the new developers coming in and kind of really changing the face of older neighborhood. But at the end of the day, very attractive, still very attractive for tenants that kind of want to be around that change. The 5th neighborhood is East Falls. East Falls is in what's considered Northwest Philadelphia. It's right along the Schuylkill River, which means that there's a lot of access to parks and a bike or walking path right along the Schuylkill River if you call East Falls your home. The median 3-bedroom price rental is $2,100, and the median sales price over the last 12 months was $342,500. And again, we're just talking 3-bedroom homes. So one of the great things about East Falls in terms of investors, because of the proximity to kind of being away from Center City, but still close, and access to parks, that's one of the reasons why it's a very desirable neighborhood. There's actually a university in the East Falls area called Philadelphia University, so not the only university city in Philadelphia, or a town or a neighborhood that has a college in it. Neighborhood number 4 is Manayunk. Manayunk is considered northwest in Philadelphia, with the price to rent ratio of 13.5, based on a median rent, 3-bedroom rent of $2,225, and a median sales price of $360,000. So one of the things to consider about Manayunk is considered kind of has a lively main street that has a lot of restaurants and shops, tends to attract a younger crowd. And Manayunk was the only one out of the 6 neighborhoods that we're reviewing that continued to have growth in median rental price over the last year. I mentioned earlier that a number of neighborhoods, or overall the average, saw a decline in the pace of rent increase. But this is actually in terms of the home values or appreciation. So Manayunk, out of the 6 neighborhoods, had the most appreciation. Now, the third neighborhood is Brewerytown. Brewerytown is considered kind of immediately north of Center City, but it borders West Philadelphia by a bridge or by the Schuylkill River, so it's pretty far west. So the median, the price to rent ratio of 12.3 makes it attractive on our list, and also attractive for tenants, being the proximity to the major highways right off 76. It's close to the art museum area. It again has restaurants and shops. I think that's a trend as far as if you're looking for an area that you want to be able to attract tenants. Having that walkability factor is definitely a plus, and Brewerytown is one of those neighborhoods that can deliver that. Also has a good supply of multifamily properties. Even though I'm talking about single family properties, there are a lot of inventory of multifamilies in Brewerytown, so that's why I have clients looking at that area. The number 2 neighborhood is University City with a price to rent ratio 11.6. The median 3-bedroom rent is $2,728, and the median sales price is only $380,000. So University City is the home of Drexel, UPenn, and emerging biotech companies, and kind of that last part of emerging biotech companies, along with a $6 billion real estate development project underway, Schuylkill Yards, growing off of 30th Street Station, really has University City having kind of a wider range of living options, from the brand new construction on the right to a lot of older homes where people are converting into multifamilies or into rentals. So what I've seen, what I'll tell you, if you're thinking about investing in University City, is that it's getting quite competitive in terms of, owning the owners of the older homes in the area, trying to compete with the amenities that are offered in the new construction down the street, and, wanting to kind of piggyback off the wind of the rent rates, but at the same time, people, kind of expecting the brand new high-end finishes of some of the properties, like the picture to the right. And the number 1 in University Cities in West Philadelphia, as well as the number 1 neighborhood in the list, is also in West Philadelphia. So if you see my other videos, I'm very bullish on West Philadelphia, partially because of some of these trends that I just mentioned. And, what Cobbs Creek has to offer, and is driving that 8.4 price to rent ratio, is the affordable entry point for investors. So the median sales price of $146,454 for a 3-bedroom home with a median rent of $1,450. So Cobbs Creek is also considered one of the more affordable options on the list from a tenant perspective. So remember that range of between $1,000 and $2,000. There's lots of option within that range, which makes tenants gravitate, or families gravitate, to Cobbs Creek just for that balance of affordability, and still have a number of amenities like close to the parks and accessible to public transportation and close to the airport. So number 1 in terms of tenant attractiveness, cash flow opportunities, Cobbs Creek. Now you may wonder, what was the top neighborhood for tenants out of that top 26 analysis done by the editors down at apartments.com? The number 1 neighborhood was Old City, and they picked Old City for its architecture, its restaurants or entertainment. This is the neighborhood right off of Penn's Landing. So no surprise being Old City. Now, what was the most expensive neighborhoods? So So the most expensive neighborhoods also didn't have a overlap with the top 6 for investors and tenants. So the most expensive neighborhoods, as you might imagine, were Rittenhouse Square, Center City, and Society Hill. With Rittenhouse Square being the most expensive, and looking at the 3-bedroom proxy that I had been mentioning throughout the video, with nearly $4,000 a month. So if you want more insight on being a landlord in the Philadelphia metro area, you'll want to check out the video that's appearing on the screen now. And as always, as I sign off, thanks for watching and happy investing.